Jennifer, these are our cabinets, and we have 39 doors, lots of doors, and the homeowner, because they're on a really tight budget, because we just redid the bathroom, and they want to paint them themselves, and I know that you as a professional have got some great tips. What's the first tip?
First tip is realize it is going to take time. You're going to be without your kitchen for quite a while, a lot longer than you think. They'll show you sometimes that you can do it over the weekend. Yeah, no, I certainly can't do it, so I don't know.
So if you're going to be painting your cabinets, realize it's going to take some time, but what's the next important step?
Prep, prep, prep. Always make sure you know what you're going over. If you don't know what this is, sometimes you can take the door into your local paint store or hardware store and they can try to help you. But always, always be sure you use the right primer.
Whether or not it's oil-based or whether it's a latex.
Oil-based, water-based, or if it's, you know, maybe it's a shellac or a varnish, depending on how old it is.
So we have to start by finding out what it is.
Find out what it is.
What if I can't tell and nobody can help me? What do I do then not to make a mistake?
Well, then you can get these kind of, they're almost hybrid sorts of primers that can go over oil or water-based products, and then you could put either oil or water-based on top of them as well.
Okay, so if you don't know, that's your best route to go.
That would be a good route to go.
Okay, before we prime though, this looks pretty dirty. What are we going to do here?
Yep, so get your gloves on, get a good strong solution of TSP, that's my favorite thing to clean these with, and it'll get all that grease off. You're going to use a little elbow grease. Clean that really, really well.
Do you suggest maybe like triple out steel wool to clean it with, or just
I use a sandpaper or a scrubby pad, or you can, I think the scrubby pad actually is a really good way to go with it, and really get it clean. Come back, sand it afterwards, because now you've loosened everything up. You're going to sand it to get it nice and smooth and get any excess stuff off and come back and clean it again. I like to come back with denatured alcohol to clean it the second time around.
Get rid of the dust.
Yep.
And then does it need to dry after you do that?
Got to let it dry, so that's a little more is with the dry time. That's can take up a lot of time too, and depending on how humid it is, like today it's really humid, so it would take a while to dry. And if it's cold out, on anything under 55 degrees, they say really it's just not going to cure properly.
So and what's our heat on the other index?
So I wouldn't go above 85 to 90. It's just in the humidity like today.
So in the south, we've got a short window there,
You do, or work in the mornings or in the evening, so it's not the heat of day.
Okay, that's a good tip. All right, color. Once you've got this all ready to go, then you've got to choose your color if you haven't already. What are everybody wanting you to do to their kitchens?
Number one, still is this, really. Yeah, it's still the off-white with a glaze. I get asked that more than just about any finish that there is out there.
Now this looks a little yellow to me.
It does.
Is it stain that color? Or?
Yeah, the stain, you can use any color underneath it that you want to, and you can have less or more stain. If you've got detail like this in your woodwork, you really want to be able to show that off, and this would show it off just by putting a little in there.
I'm sure this is going to look better with glaze than, say, the one we're working with, because we don't have a lot of
if you don't have as much detail, you may not need it, but you could just put a little bit down in the cracks and crevices, and that could bring out some dimension.
I really like these. Tell me about these colors.
This is kind of maybe an old farmhouse sort of a look, and you can see it started out just your basic, brown cabinets, and the same with this one. This one is
really pretty. Gray is such a big color in the kitchens right now.
Huge right now. Grays and blues.
Could I mix the two of these together?
Absolutely.
What are people doing like that?
Some of the things they're doing, it's really a lot of fun. Once you've decided you're going to paint, you got to think about, okay, who am I painting for? Am I painting for myself, or am I painting to sell my house? If you're painting to sell the house, you want to keep it kind of neutral. If you're going to stay there yourself, you can have a lot of fun with the color scheme, because I am seeing the uppers, the lowers, and the island, all three different colors sometimes. Yes, very often I'll see the cabinets one color, the island another color, and you can really throw a pop of color and throw your personality into that
just
island.
Make sure they all match a little bit, right?
Make sure to coordinate,
coordinate a little bit there.
Right.
Yeah, the black is really pretty too. I like that.
That's probably my number 2 finish, I would have to say, with a little bit of distressing underneath it.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Well, those are great colors. All right. Now, how do you get the paint on to look like this? This is like perfect.
Yeah, to look like this, most people don't spray, but that's how I do it when I do it for others. And this is actually a very inexpensive gun. It comes at very low pressure, a very small amount of paint at a time, and so you can spray it on there. And it takes a while, but it's not zip, zip, zip like you see again on some things.
So a thinner layer, several layers is better than one.
Several thin layers, and let them kind of float out and get nice and smooth.
Okay.
Also using quality products. You really want a high grade enamel type of a paint at your good paint store, that's going to last you a lot longer than just some
Don't
sort of
skimp it by
cheapy.
cheap paint.
No, I don't recommend it.
Okay, now do you have, what about going back over it with some kind of a sealer or varnish, or what do you
Yeah,
suggest?
I top coat it, and again with clear, when I'm doing it myself, I do it with a clear varnish over, or clear lacquer over the top of it. You can use varnish, you can use shellacs, you can use that kind of thing. I prefer
When you say
water-based.
lacquer, that I think
Yep.
fumes and smell.
No, not anymore. They have water-based lacquers now that really have almost very little odor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How long does that take to dry? Okay, like we got it cleaned up, we got to let that dry, then we put on our color.
Right.
And it had to dry how long?
And you want that to dry, let them usually almost dry overnight.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
before
right.
you, and especially if you're going to put a glaze on it, you don't want to be pulling any of that color.
Okay.
If you're
And
going
then
to
when you
glaze
put
in
the
it.
finish on, how long should that before you start putting your hardware on and getting it back up?
I would give it 24 to 48 hours at least.
Whoa. Well, we've got like 30-something plus doors here, so it looks like we may see you
Gonna be
around
doing it a
Christmas
while.
time.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah, it's going to be going on for a while.